Okporewore defends multi-billion naira flyover projects amid criticism. These headlines and many other stories are reported on our daily newspaper this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we get into the details of those headlines we've read to you. Please stay with us.
It is another refreshing time and the outpouring power of God as Christ Apostolic Church, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, presents Sure Mercy of David, a yearly fasting and prayer program where God is set to heal the sick, deliver the poor, set the captives free, and save the lost. Sure Mercy of David comes up in the month of August, every Friday to Sunday, each week in the month of August 2025, as God will be using his anointed servant, Prophet Sam Olualo Baba Adamimogo, and many other great anointed men of God. Many spiritual singers will be ministering in song as well. Venue CAC, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, Elamija Village, Lekki Epe Expressway, Lagos State. For one-on-one counseling with Prophet Sam Olualo, register at JesusCityRadio.com. Sure Mercy of David. Don't miss it.
You're welcome back from the break. If I just joined the program this morning, the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM is what you're listening to this morning. We've given you headlines from the Punch newspaper to the Daily Post and the Vanguard newspaper. Now we'll be going into the details of those headlines we've read earlier. And don't forget to be part of the program this morning. The studio lines to call are 0704 700 7701, 0707 276 6278. I'll take that again, 0704 700 7701, 0707 276 6278. Let's start from the Punch newspaper. The big story there: Okporewore defends multi-billion naira flyover projects amid criticism. Delta State Governor Sheriff Okporewore has defended his administration's plans over the ongoing flyover projects in Warri and Efuru. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, was reacting to criticisms by former Ethiopia West local government chairman and the All Progressives Congress chieftain, Chief Wilson Omene. The APC chieftain had, in a recent interview, described the ongoing flyover projects in Warri and Efuru as ill-informed and misleading. Defending the projects, Okporewore said the flyover and road expansion projects were strategic interventions aimed at decongesting traffic in Warri and Efuru. Okporewore said, and I quote, "The flyovers, road expansions and slipway interchange are not cosmetic. They are long-term investments in urban mobility, ease of doing business and economic growth. These are gateway cities connecting the ports, industries and hinterland. The projects are unlocking commercial potential and creating an enabling environment for further private sector participation. Perhaps Chief Wilson Omene may have to check the meaning of enabling business environment." End of quote. The story is on the Punch newspaper this morning. Okporewore defines multi-billion naira flyover projects amid criticisms. He debunks ADC defection, defends Fayemi. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji on Monday dismissed a report claiming he, alongside some leaders and office holders in the state, was being led to the African Democratic Congress by the immediate past governor, Kayode Fayemi. Oyebanji, who described the report as false and misleading, described it as nothing but another tissue of lies from the camp of some disgruntled elements in the state. He said, and I quote, "But keeping quiet in the midst of such a barefaced falsehood would amount to a disservice to the good people of the state, some of who could be hoodwinked into believing the misleading reports." According to Yinka Oyebode, the governor spoke in a statement by by a special advisor on media, that's Zinka Oyebode. Oyebode stated, and I quote, "For the avoidance of doubts, Governor Oyebanji and the public office holders mentioned in the report remain firmly rooted in the All Progressives Congress and have no link, neither do they have any plan whatsoever to join the ADC." That the story is still on the Punch newspaper this morning. You can get the details there. Oyebanji debunks ADC defection, defense Fayemi. Displaced Benue residents reject return amid insecurity. Survivors of the Yelwata attack currently taking refuge in the temporary camp located at the International Market, Makodi, have rejected the call to return home. No fewer than 3,000 displaced persons from the Yeliwata community are currently taking refuge in the camp after the gruesome murder of about 200 people in coordinated attacks on the community by suspected armed herders on June 13, 2025. Our correspondent who visited the camp on Sunday reliably gathered that traditional rulers and stakeholders from the community were mounting pressure on their people to return home as a result of the infiltration of the temporary camp by other displaced persons. Amos said, and I quote, "These infiltrators have continued to feast from the humanitarian support supposed to be for survivors of the Yellowater community." That is Amos, one of the displaced persons who identified himself as Uka Amos, according to the reports there. The story is still on the Punch newspaper this morning. Displaced Benue residents reject return amid insecurity. Demands fair climate finance deal at BRICS. President Bola Tinubu has called for a fairer global system on climate action, finance, and healthcare, urging BRICS nations to lead efforts towards inclusive development and equity for emerging economics. Speaking at the 17th BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Tinubu said Nigeria was taking bold steps to expand renewable energy, tackle environmental degradation, and achieve universal health coverage while aligning with the global agenda for sustainable development. He said this was part of its commitment to sustainable development and global cooperation. Tinubu told world leaders that Nigeria was mainstreaming climate action, promoting nature-based solutions, strengthening urban resilience, and aligning its national agenda with global renewal framework to ensure inclusive growth and environmental security. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, reviewed this in a statement he signed in the early hours of Monday. Tinubu said, and I quote, "We are taking bold steps to accelerate renewable energy adoption, mainstream climate action, promote nature-based solutions, strengthen urban resilience, champion South-South cooperation, align with the global renewal framework, and achieve universal health coverage for all." End of quote. The president called for a evaluation of the current global governance structure and the financial and healthcare systems, urging greater equity and inclusion for low-income and emerging economies, particularly in Africa. You can get details of that story from the Punch newspaper this morning. Tinubu demands fair climate finance deals as BRICS. 915,000 teachers struggle to save 31.7 billion Nigerian pupils. Only 915,913 teachers are available for no fewer than 31,771,916 learners in public and private primary schools nationwide, according to data obtained from the Universal Basic Education. This is as teachers in the state and federal capital territory battle with non-payment of minimum wage and poor working conditions, among others. Recently, teachers in the federal capital territory embarked on strike following the failure of the area councils to implement the minimum wage approved by President Bola Tinubu last year. In 2024, the Punch reported how 18 states of the federation failed to recruit teachers from 2019 country. It said the shortage was more pronounced in rural areas, exacerbating educational inequality. The immediate past registrar of the TRCN, Professor Josiah Ajiboye, who spoke with our correspondent while in office, said, and I quote, the surge in the population of school children and the increase in the number of schools in Nigeria, both government and private, present a complex challenge for the education system. You can get details of that story on the Punch newspaper this morning. 915,000 teachers struggle to serve 31.7 million Nigerian. And the last story we take from the Punch newspaper this morning says Trump threatens new tariffs, says August deadline not 100% firm. US President Donald Trump reignited his trade war by threatening more than a dozen countries with higher tariffs Monday, but then said he may be flexible on his new August deadline to reach deals. Trump sent letters to trading partners, including key US allies, Japan and South Korea, announcing that duties he had suspended in April would snap back even more steeply in 3 weeks. Tokyo and Seoul would be hit with 25% tariffs on their goods, he wrote. Countries including Indonesia, Bangladesh, Thailand, South Africa, and Malaysia were slapped with duties ranging from 25% to 40%, but in a move that will cause fresh uncertainty in a global economic already unsettled by its tariffs. The 79-year-old once again left the country's room to negotiate a deal. The story is a long one on the Punch newspaper this morning. Trump threatens new tariffs, says August deadline not 100%. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, mommy.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Golden Twins of Africa.
Good to have you on the show.
I worried about how can NNPCL donated buses to federal government. Is it not the federal government supposed to donate the buses to the parastatal? How can government parastatal donated the bus to the parastatal? I mean, the entities are calamity within the politics in Nigeria need to have ADC. The ADC will now represent PDP and all that. But I want them to be in one hand together and meet the president, because the president is supposed to know that he's the one ruling Nigeria. He needs to listen to those people advice, because 2 years remain now being like tomorrow. And all Nigeria have mind or right to belong to any party now. But I believe this man is doing well to review the secret. I worry some how somebody will have houses of 756 houses in Abuja and one stolen 210 trillion. Nigeria, we are not supposed to suffer, but I pray that everything will be okay.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comments this morning. Thank you. From the pages of the Daily Post newspaper this morning, U.S. Embassy commences screening of Nigerian students' social media accounts. The United States Mission in Nigeria has announced the commencement of fresh guidelines for all applicants for FM and non-immigrant visas seeking to study or participate in exchange programs in the U.S. The consulate noted that all FM and J non-immigrant visas must not adjust the social media account privacy settings to public in its new social media rule. The mission stated that applicants in those categories must now set their personal social media profiles to public as part of a new visa requirement. This was made known on the United States Diplomatic Mission Nigeria's official X page on Monday. The U.S. Embassy noted the update was effective immediately. According to the statement, and I read, effective immediately, All individuals applying for all FM or J non-immigrant visa are requested to adjust the privacy settings to all of their personal social media accounts to public. End of quotes. According to the consulate, the change is meant to complement vetting efforts aimed at determining applicants' identities and their admissibility to the United States. The story is on the Daily Post newspaper this morning. U.S. Embassy commences screening of Nigerian students' social media accounts. Hello, good morning.
Yes, so round of money, Comrade Kennedy, going into. Our leader have a lot to learn from Mandela, from his illness to death. He was treated in South Africa. It is mean institutions are working there. Our leader should learn to live within national means and no more, to deliver the dividend of democracy to our people. The life is limited to all. Kudos to our governor here, Evangi. So everybody has to do. Fayemi also has his own to do. You have tried your own. But let our president listen to the trumpet of the people that is ruling. Nigeria belongs to all of us. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for calling back on the show. And the last story we take on the program this morning is from the Daily Post newspaper. Politicians buying up PVCs in villages with 10,000 naira. That is according to Abia government. Abia state government has raised the alarm, alleging that some politicians in some parts of the state have deployed their agents to various wards to fraudulently obtain information contained on the permanent voters' cards, PVCs, of unsuspecting rural dwellers in exchange for the sum of 10,000 naira each. According to the alarm, the alleged fraudulent act was being run under a deceptive guise that it is to create a non-existent e-wallet for empowerment. In a special government announcement signed by Ferdinand Ekeoma, the special advisor to Governor Alex Otti, Monday night, Abia State government said that the intention of the sponsors and perpetrators of the criminal act is to compromise the authenticity of such PVCs and render the owners unfit to vote during the 2027 election. The statement, which did not mention the names of the politicians involved, noted that Abia State government had carried out various empowerment programs for the youth and the elderly across the state and will continue to carry out more empowerment without politicization or attachment of questionable preconditions aimed at violating their rights. The story is a long one on the Daily Post newspaper this morning. If you are interested in reading the story, politicians buying up PVCs in villages with 10,000 naira. Abia government raises alarm. And that's how much we can take on the program this morning. Until next time, till I come your way, my name remains Ayomide Surulere. Good morning and bye for now.
Top